Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you just joining us, my name is Alfred, and this is Capital City Aquatics. In today's video, I'm just going to be doing a teardown of my 20-gallon Blue Moscow tank and setting up something that's a little more aquascaped, and I'll be slowly transferring over my Blue Moscows back to that tank. I'm going to be using the same filter system, so it's going to be an instant cycle, so I'm not too worried there. I'll take it a little slower with the reintroduction of the Blue Moscows to that tank, and hopefully the end result as far as the aquascaping goes comes out nice. I just wasn't overly fond of the look that my current 20-gallon tank had. It was never aquascaped properly intentionally. It was only done as a hospital tank, but it became a more permanent fixture and home for my Blue Moscow males. And I decided to just upgrade their current living conditions, added some new plants, and in some gravel, and just made sure it was overall a better look and something I enjoyed looking at more than just my bare bottom tank. So that's what it's on the agenda for today, folks. Certainly hope you enjoy it, and stand by. So this is the tank they're in now. Originally I had just set it up as a hospital tank, and then I added some plants to it, and I've decided to move my Blue Moscow Guppies in there to make this their permanent home. And I never did decorate the tank that well. I just threw some rocks in there, a few live plants, and a piece of driftwood. So I'm not overall happy with the way it turned out. For a hospital tank, this would have been fine, but I'm going to give my Blue Moscows a more permanent home and a little bit better decorated. I'm going to be adding some more plants, and hopefully they like it a little better. I'll give them a little more hiding room and whatnot, and I'll take you through that process of how I go ahead and aquascape it. Nothing too complicated, but just something that I feel needed to be done. And again, it'll look better in the fish gallery in my basement as opposed to what this is. All right, so here we have the 20-gallon. I'll be scaping a little nicer and putting my Blue Moscow males in there. I just have some substrate I had kicking around for a bit of a base layer. Then I've added the fluval biostratum in certain sections. You can kind of see it there. And in the back there, I'll be using that for my main focal point for planting. And then I'll just be covering that with some river rock that I bought. All right, so I'm just starting by removing some of the water from this tank. It will just make the fish easier to catch and relocate when the time comes. So I'm just siphoning it off with my Python. You can see here, I have it in the tank. I'm not doing a gravel vac at this point. I'm just basically putting this in to remove some of the water. I'll probably remove about 30 to 50% of it, and then I'll look at transferring over the hardscape to the new tank, do the planting, and then I will add the water. I'll put the filter in, and then I will be adding my fish. All right, so as you can see, I've taken some of the water out of my 20, and I'm going to now remove the hardscape from this tank, and I'll be transferring it over into my other tank, but I will be putting water in to my new tank. Before I do that, I'll put a little bit of water, not much, and then I'll do some of the planting, and then I will remove the fish from this tank, and then I will be putting them in my new tank, and I will show you the steps as they unfold. Okay, so I've removed the hardscape that I'm going to be transferring, or that I have transferred to my other tank. You can see it here. I have the wood and the rocks, and I've actually added a piece of wood to this tank. But this is the hardscape that I'm going to be using in this setup. And then I'll continue to go ahead with the breakdown of my other tank. All right, folks, so I have the tank up and running now. I've put some of my my fancy guppies in here for now, along with my small pleco. You could kind of make him out in the back. There he is. And I'll be just monitoring the behavior of the fish here. It's going to be an instant cycle, so I don't have a lot of concerns with this setup. But I just moved the Blue Moscow Guppies into my Fancy Guppy 10-gallon tank while I did the maintenance work on this one and tore down my other 20. So I don't want to stress them out too much, so I will probably move all of my Blue Moscow males into this tank in the next day or two, and just monitor this tank to make sure that everyone is settling in nicely, as well as I'll be adding more plants to this tank over the next couple of days as well. But again, it's not a new setup, but it is a setup that I'm going to take my time with to make sure I get it right, make sure that the plants and the fish are healthy, and that everything goes well in this tank. Don't want to rush everything. I don't need to, because I have the additional tanks available to me. So we'll just take my time and make sure everything is good to go. And I'll do a follow-up once I have my Blue Moscows in this tank, probably next week. But the fish that I did transfer in, you know, they're swimming around well. They've been in the tank now a few hours. I have a couple here, and then, like I said, I have my bristlenose in the back there. Still a very young fish, so he doesn't have his bristles yet, but make sure that my plants take off in this tank as well. I have some Java ferns, I have a crypt there, then I have my pothos in the top. You can see the roots that just transferred over from my 20-gallon. Just want to make sure everything does well, everything gets established in this new setup. It is the first time I'm going with this type of a gravel, so I'm curious to see how that does. It's a bit larger than standard aquarium gravel, and then again underneath there I have my nutrient-rich substrate and a new piece of driftwood. I'll be attaching either some moss or some Java fern to it, and then I have another Java fern attached to some driftwood over here. Hopefully that's not going to have any competition for light, so hopefully that will start to get bigger over the next few months, and everything gets well established and starts to do very well in this tank. Overall, I'm much happier with this setup than I was my previous one. But again, that was only supposed to be a temporary setup as a hospital tank. And then I threw my Blue Moscow males in there to try and give it a bit of a better feel. I threw some moss and whatnot in there, but I was never really overly thrilled with it. But I definitely do like this setup much better. And as time goes on, I will be adding quite a few more plants to help to oxygenate the water and just to establish line of sight breaks for the fish. That's it for now, everyone. I've asked, if you haven't already done so, to please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button if you like these type of videos. I try and come out with them once a week. And hit the notification button so that way when I do come out with new videos, you're the first to know. Have a good day, everyone. Bye now.